While Madden 22 is arguably the easiest to pass Madden in recent memory, one of the more frequent questions that I am asked is, how do I stop some of those heavier run formations in this game? In today's video, we're going to bring back a tip that we used a couple weeks back, and we're going to focus on it because it was kind of hidden in the middle of that video. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the click the stick method. Now, this was actually a tactic that I worked into the middle of a run stopping video. I believe it was last month. And at that point in time, I was kind of talking about it as a method that had been used in the past by a lot of players. And this was a method that I wasn't really a fan of in previous games because I felt like gap shooting and just run defense in general has been easier back on the current gen version of the game rather than the next gen that we're playing now. So in today's video, we're going to talk about why the click the stick method is very, very important, in particular against some of those stretch RPO lookies, or just in general, the RPO runs under center, where a lot of times those linebackers don't attack the line of scrimmage. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show this to you out of my favorite defensive formation to stop the run, which is the nickel 2-4-5, but you can employ these practices out of pretty much any formation that you desire. Again, pay attention to your personnel though. You don't want to be running dime or quarters against some of these goal line and heavy type of sets because you can still get weak box. So make sure you're playing within reason with this tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a couple audibles here. I'm going to set quarters. Let's go ahead, also set a little cover 3. And I think we'll leave it there. And the reason that I want to kind of show this tip from a variety of coverage shells is that you're going to want to go in and practice not only the formation that you're in, but the individual plays within the formation to see how this tactic basically affects the run that you're facing. So I'm going to start off with quarters. That is far and away my favorite run defense in the game because it is notorious for having 9 out of 11 players in the run fit, which is huge. That's the most you can actually have in this game without using this tip that I'm about to show you. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you the stretch lookie, which is probably the most commonly used goal line run in the game. When you see I-form wing stretch alert lookie, you just know that they're going to run this. And what I'm going to talk about is the click the stick method. Now, the click the stick method is one in which what you're going to do is you're going to, when the ball is snapped, you're going to click in this button right here, this right stick. And when you click it in, what it does is it activates the send the spy mechanic, which is actually a coverage-based mechanic that still works in the run game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the run fit here. On a run to the right, you see that I've got basically everybody that is not an outside corner in the run fit, 9 out of 11 players. And maybe I'll go ahead and move a guy down. Maybe I'll move this guy down. But what I kind of want you to notice is that when first I snap the ball and I don't use this mechanic, notice how everybody kind of backpedals, and it allows the running back to pick a cutback lane and get to the second level. And that's because it is a run pass option. So a lot of the players that have not only a run key, but also a pass key, try to respect both until they know that it is truly a run, which is basically the point at which the running back officially takes the handoff. Then they will start to respond to the fact that it is a run. But you can definitely see that everybody on the field is kind of playing their pass assignment. You've got the linebackers dropping back into their hook lanes. You've got the safety that is on the right, kind of standing flat-footed. You've got the corner that is being blocked to the outside. He's playing his quarter flat assignment. And of course, this player, which is your outside corner, is not in the run fit, so he's backing up into his assignment as well. And then the result ends up being the computer is able to scamper up inside and pick up a pretty sizable run there. Thank you for checking out this free content over here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys are enjoying this content, make sure that you guys also check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault update, we go over the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counteract those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every game plan on the site all year long for just a low price of $9.95 a month. And you guys get access to our Discord channel, where we have members of the Gridiron Game Plans community chatting daily, helping each other get better at the game. And this also includes a lab session every single Wednesday night on the channel. So make sure you guys get over to the website. If you guys are looking for the best escape artist defense in the community, you have to look no further. gridirongameplans.gg. Now back to the video. And if you allow your opponents to kind of run this and you just sit back in quarters, it can be a real challenge, and you probably get to the point where you just get really aggressive and you try to take your user and, you end up just trying to gap shoot it yourself. They pick you up and you can still see that there's lanes there, right? You really want to close these down and make it more effective. So that is where you're going to start to use this click the stick method. And basically what you're going to do is as soon as the ball is snapped and it's a stretch or a run play in general, you're going to click that stick in, and I want you to watch how everyone behaves. So you notice how I clicked the stick in right there, and it made the linebacker and the nickel corner both play the run. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to work in a press, because I want you to kind of pay attention to some of the other players in this example. You can definitely see the moment which I click the stick, which is now. And you see that this linebacker, instead of backpedaling, played downhill into the A gap. Now, he didn't make the play, but he caused the offensive line to have to target differently. You see number 75 on this outside zone. You would think that he'd be taking a step to the outside. Instead, he ends up having to target inside. And if not for kind of a lucky shed of number 54, Leonard Floyd, if he had shed into the correct gap, we end up having a play there. You also notice that you ended up with the nickel corner kind of setting his edge a little bit better rather than getting kicked out. Now, this is where I'm going to say that you want to lab your play. Because if you start to get to the point where you start to work some players in closer to the box, like if I walk this guy down and use this same tactic, you're going to notice that they're much more responsive. So you see here, I click that stick in, you see how everybody filled their lane much better. And really, that was kind of 3 yards in a cloud of dust there. But again, you're going to notice, how easily you can use this tactic and get some pretty solid responses when you click the stick in. So definitely something that I'm a big fan of here is kind of slanting my D-line towards the run. And then when that ball snapped, I clicked the stick in, and you see how the nickel corner instantly went down and shed, and everybody else instantly shed as well, because a lot of those linemen had to release their player to get to the second level. So you see Aaron Donald comes off his block. You see that Leonard Floyd comes off his block. You see that because I clicked the stick in, the linebacker, you even see right here, the safety. When I click that stick in, this safety right here fires into the A gap, which changes things, frees up our linebacker to flow. And you get some pretty solid responses out of this. I've even seen a time or two where you can sometimes get this outside corner that's not in the run fit. Again, you see right here, if I show this, Ramsey has no run assignment. Sometimes you can even get him to get involved as well. Just kind of depends on the rep. So you see right here, I click the stick in. Again, much better responsiveness. It's not going to make it a tackle for loss every single time. I kind of want that to be clear. Again, and you might want to still play around with some of your different plays. If you want to, mess around with a cover 3, you might go ahead and work the cover 3 in. Now in the cover 3, you've actually got 3 players that aren't in the run fit, both outside corners, and then the free safety are not in the run fit. But you could still work in the click the stick method, send your perimeter players, and kind of change how the run lanes open up or close. Now, the next question I'm sure many of you want to know is, this is an RPO. So you're clicking the stick to send a player against a run pass option. Does this work against other runs? And the answer is actually yes, it does. It really, really, truly does. So let me go ahead and show you another example, because I think that the RPO being the toughest to stop run is simply because everybody backpedals. On a regular run, people don't backpedal until the running back has the ball. It's all tied to play recognition, awareness, things like that, pursuit. Those are things that go into how quickly and where your linebackers and corners and safeties will respond to a run. So let me go ahead and show you again, cover 4 quarters. And let's stay right in the I-form wing, and let's run power O. And you're going to see here that with the same method, I can actually still click the stick in and get responsiveness. So you see right here, I clicked that stick in, and it actually sent the backside linebacker on the play as well. And again, it comes down to, when you move your players around, sometimes they're going to respond better in different spots. So lab it up, definitely lab it up and see where you want to place your players. You see right here, I clicked the stick in, I got that safety to fly down right away. And basically it plugged a lane that the running back was intending to hit. So, just the act of moving this guy makes it so not only is he closer to line of scrimmage, but I can activate him when I send my player. Another thing that I sometimes will do is I'll click onto this linebacker just to be a little bit closer myself. That way, when I click the stick in, it sends somebody else. You see right now, Aaron Donald is going crazy with his run stopping ability. But Nonetheless, when you're on a linebacker, say I'm on a safety and I click the stick in, it sends that linebacker. If I'm on that linebacker and I click the stick, it's going to send somebody else. So it's a number of things: where the players are placed, what shell you're in, what run lane they're responsible for, or what gap they're responsible for, and also who you're using, because if you're using the player that would typically send, when you click the stick, it's going to choose somebody else. Now, I just kind of want to leave you with this final thought. This is not a foolproof run stopping tip. This is susceptible to the play action pass. So if somebody were to come out and mix in a fair amount of play action with this, and you get into a habit of sending people, this will send them as a blitzer at the quarterback after the fact when it ends up to be a play action. So you see right here, I clicked the stick in, it sent my middle linebacker. I didn't end up having a 3-rec hook. I had to compensate, and we ended up with a wide open player somewhere else on the field because of that fact. Match, it might be a little bit scarier to do this method if you run a little Tampa 2. Obviously, you could lose a mid-read zone, but you see right here, I click the stick in, you see I sent that guy. Now what ends up happening is I had to bail out of my vertical hook assignment to take that post, and the computer or your opponent, if you're playing a human, is going to find somebody else. So, just be advised that this isn't a situation where this doesn't come with any risk. If you click the stick in and you guess wrong, you're going to end up losing one of your middle of the field defenders. And you see I have to play down here and, force it incomplete in either way. But depending on your coverage shell, that could leave some open lanes on the field. So that is today's video, guys. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop those below. Make sure you subscribe to the channels. We're pushing 12,000 subscribers. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.